some of these more popular myths like, you can work an hour a day from the beach, it should take 7 years to success, it's always going to feel right. I'm going to talk about these myths in the video today. My name is Sarah Mae Ives. I have a passion for teaching women how to start highly profitable businesses, and in the last year, I have taught hundreds of women personally how to start highly successful advertising businesses. Now, if you want to learn more about how to start a highly in-demand Facebook and Instagram advertising business, I've got a free guide below and a free training that you can click the link and watch right now. If you like this content, if you enjoy what I'm saying, please consider subscribing to my channel and then also sharing it with any friends, family who could benefit from it. And don't forget to tap the notifications bell as well, because we release a new video every week. Let's go back to the topic of today's video, which is debunking some of the most common entrepreneurial myths that are out there. The top myth that I really dislike about starting a business is that it should be easy, that you don't have to hustle. There's a lot of stuff floating around in advertising that says that hustling for your business is a myth. And there's a lot of people saying, start your course and, move to the beach and work an hour a day from your laptop. I don't believe these courses are being fully transparent about the level of commitment that it requires to start a profitable business. When it comes to the initial stages of your business, when you are first starting your business, it is going to take a lot of work. And I think we all know this intuitively, but when we see those flashy ads that are, saying these flashy, sensational things about how easy it should be, how you can move to the beach, make $1 million, that's when we know that we're dealing with someone who's not being fully transparent about it. And they are pushing that myth that having a successful business doesn't require hustle, that you can move to the beach whenever you want. Honestly, the Wi-Fi signal at the beach is not that great. And it's kind of hard to work from your laptop with the sun and everything. So what I'm trying to say is a lot of these things are myths. And in fact, starting your business in the beginning is a ton of work, as it should be. Anything worth doing in our lives does require a tremendous amount of work. Look at the things that are most important to you, your family, your career, your children. Some of the most valuable things in our lives, our personal relationships, require the most amount of work. Those things are the most rewarding because we put the work into it. The same philosophy applies with business. It should be a lot of work. It is a lot of work. And in the beginning, you're going to need to dedicate yourself to your vision and to the commitment every day to show up for yourself and for your business. And it's going to be work. I want to call out the people that are like, business should be easy. This should be simple. You can do it in 2 hours a day. The whole myth of passive income is a little bit of a joke. When it comes to like passive income, people are like, hey, you've got some knowledge. Why don't you take your knowledge, put it into a course, sell it, make $1 million and move to the Bahamas? Great. The issue with that is it's not nearly as passive as people want to make you think. And in fact, an online business is just as much work as a regular brick and mortar type of business, because you need to be there, answering client questions, dealing with making your content better, showing up like I am right now on a video, meeting with your team. I have a team of 7 people. I spend a lot of time every week meeting with them. So my business has been highly successful. I want to be fully transparent that it's been a ton of work, and it's been such great work, and it's been so worth it because it's paid off and it's really gratifying. I will say that there's a lot of things that do take a lot of work that don't feel as gratifying. I put in a ton of work to my career, getting my degree, going to get this 9-to-5 job, and quite honestly, it was a huge disappointment because I didn't really like what I was doing. All this to say, really when it comes to like passive income, the only thing that is truly passive is if you have money to invest in the stock market or in mutual funds or that type of investing. That is truly the only quote unquote passive income. Now, you could make the argument, well, real estate is somewhat passive. Yes, real estate is a great investment too, or can be. That being said, real estate does require a lot of work as well. You've got to maintain the properties. You've got to make the repairs to the house. You've got to find tenants to live in the house that you own. So what I'm trying to say is this whole myth of like move to the beach is really that. It's a myth. I want you guys to know that it's going to take a ton of work, but if you're really rooted in the why that you're doing this and you're really excited about business, it is so so rewarding. That's what I want to point out with the first myth of business. Success should take 7 years. So there's a famous Steve Jobs quote that says, an overnight success usually takes 7 to 10 years. Now, the reality is when I started my first business, it wasn't a winner, so to speak. It wasn't, I had a lot of success with the business, but it never paid me enough to actually quit my job. So I really had what I like to call an expensive hobby. Now, here's the thing. I heard many people say that it takes 7 years to be an overnight success. So this actually led me down to the path of thinking, well, it's okay that my business is taking so long. It's okay that it's been 1 year. It's okay that it's now been 2 years. It's okay that it's now been 4 years and I still haven't been able to quit my job. In truth, the business idea that I picked wasn't a good one. And that's why it was taking me so long. So I also like to say that if you have a good business idea, if you're really onto something, it actually takes off way faster than most people will help you realize. When I started this advertising business in 2017, it took me 6 weeks to get my first client. And that first client paid me $12,000. I knew really quickly I was onto something. I also did a test and I reached out to a few of my contacts and I said, I'm getting into Facebook ads. Is this something you would be interested in learning? And immediately like 5 people said, yes, I would like to learn more about what you're doing. Again, another thing that happened very quickly. Now, if you listen to that quote that it takes 7 years to be an overnight success, and I was still listening to that, with my previous business, I literally went years and years and years beyond what I should have with the business, because I should have been recognizing that when something is in demand, when something is valued, when you're onto a great business idea, it actually takes off way faster than people will ever tell you. I just wanted to clear that up because it's definitely something that really led me astray in my first business, and it caused me to spend a lot of extra time, money, effort, dedication on something that sadly wasn't the business that I needed to start. So I hope that you receive that and that helps you in terms of getting clarity about your business and how quickly it should happen. By the way, if you want a specific framework, I would say it's usually within 3 to 6 months that you should be getting some great feedback for your business, and no more than a year. So I would say if you really tried at your business for more than a year and it hasn't worked, there is something wrong with your business model. There is something wrong with the way you're presenting your skill, or potentially it's a skill that is not valued. That's what I wanted to say specific to sort of like, well, how long should it really be? Most women that I've taught, they can get their first client within 90 days. So if you want to learn the skill of advertising, it is usual to get at least your first client within 90 days. And then by the time 6 months rolls around, it's not unusual to have 4, 5, 6 clients if you're keeping at it. That's what I would expect for your business. Next point. It's easy to take your knowledge and turn this into a skill or $1 million course. There is a ton of advertising floating around that says if you're like a qualified person, which many of us are, especially if you've been to school or if you worked in a career for a long time, you've got knowledge that you can probably package up and turn into a course. The issue becomes the fact that you have to also become a micro or mini celebrity in your space to actually sell your course. And most people don't realize this. So if you're thinking about getting into coaching or selling a course, it can be done. Yes, there are people doing it successfully. I'm actually an example of someone who's doing it very successfully right now. Here's the thing. My path to doing this more coaching business, this more personality business where I have to show up on video, it takes way more time, effort, and money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars to become successful than you may realize. When someone is first starting out and they're seeing these ads about, oh, I can just become a coach or a consultant, you don't quite realize how much work it takes. Now, why am I telling you this? Because number one, if this is truly the path that you want, then go for it. But understand it's going to take more time, money, effort, dedication, and social credibility, testimonials than most people imagine. A lot of new coaches will come to me, and by the way, I'm an advertiser, so I am behind the scenes, and I know what it's like to launch people's business ideas. A lot of ingredients of success rest in the value of someone's business idea. So as an advertiser, I'm not a magician. So if someone comes to me with a bad business idea, yes, I can run ads for them. I can put together the best ads in the world. But if they don't have a fundamentally good business idea, I can't sell it. Sure, I could get people to their website, but it doesn't mean that it's going to sell. So what I'm trying to say to you is ads are important, yes, and good advertising strategy is important, yes, but what's way more important is a good business idea. So I also want to remind you that when it comes to online business ideas, one of the things that, contributes to success is number one, having a good offer. Number two, getting people to take your your course and get testimonials. The online coaching space is highly, highly competitive. You need to have a ton of social proof. You also need to have sales skills. So you need to be able to talk to people on the phone, get them to say yes to your services a lot of times. If you're selling more lower ticket, which means you're selling a course for a few $100 or $1,000, you also need to have an insanely effective free training or webinar. What I'm trying to say is you can do it. It's going to be a lot of work and it's going to take you a long time. Now, if you contrast this with a business like learning ads, you can get started running ads for people in 90 days. And that's because you do not have to become a celebrity for your business. You do not have to have oodles of social proof. The number of skills required are actually much less. I wanted to point this out to you so you understand that. Yes, you can be a coach. Yes, you can get started with that, but it's often much easier to get started in the space if you just learn a skill. And then if you look at me, actually a lot of other successful coaches is they actually did start out with a skill, and then over time, as their repertoire grew, as their years in the space increased, then they can turn to the coaching, and the coaching is naturally more successful because you have the coaching that is based on true experience and true success. That's another issue with the coaching, is that sometimes people are coaching in things that they truly don't even have success in yet, and that's truly a recipe for a disaster as well. That's another myth that I want you to be aware of, that it's not always as easy as it sounds to take your knowledge and turn it into a course. It's not to say you shouldn't do it, but you should have the proper expectations. And if you want to get started a lot faster, you can get started in about 90 days by learning a good skill. The last myth that I want to talk about is the myth of it should always feel easy. A lot of people are led to believe that we need to have this strong passion. And when something is a strong passion, it's always going to feel right. And that's truly not the case. There are many days as an entrepreneur that I wanted to give up. Likewise, I've had some arguments with my partner that I want to give up. Do I? No. Is it a sign I should give up? No. With your business, you're going to go through the same things. There's been days as a mom where I'm like, oh my God, am I really cut out to be a mom? This is tough. You're going to have the same days with your business. You're going to have days where you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm cut out to be a business owner. I promise you, it's not always going to feel easy. And in fact, there's going to be many days when maybe you want to give up. But if you're returning back to practicality, if you have chosen a business idea that has value and you're doing the work, it's going to feel right after a while. But in the beginning, you have to be prepared for the fact that you're going to hit obstacles. You're maybe going to do things in your business that don't get you the results you want. You're maybe going to put out some ads and they don't go well. You're maybe going to have some calls with people that aren't great client prospects and you're going to feel discouraged. I want you to know in advance that this is normal. It's a normal part of a business owner and it's to be expected. So as long as you show up, continue, do the work, you will eventually succeed, or you'll realize how to tweak and adjust your business plan. I hope that this video on the most common entrepreneurial myths has been helpful for you. I hope it inspires you to do the work, just get out there, put yourself out there, and I hope it helps you become more practical and get closer to your dreams. So if you like this video, please like it. If you have questions, comments, please put them below. And if you want to download my free guide on how to start an advertising business in 90 days, click the link below. I can't wait to see you, hear from you, and have an awesome day, and I will see you next week.